Is the time near for the turning point? Everyone, happy Monday. Today, July the 21st of 2025. I hope each one of you are doing great. This afternoon is the golden hour, 3:31 p.m. Is this the time where we will see some turning point across the market? We will see. Once again, welcome aboard. I wanted to give an update on the current information based on the intersection between price and time, also previously projected for July the 19th through the 20th. We have the lows yesterday printing a new low in the price action for Bitcoin, testing the 0.382. That was the first range for the common areas of retracement from the previous W formation already presented during the previous stream 5 days ago or so. Previously, to give a context, we have this W formation, okay, where we have two ratios, the 1.618, which is the turning point for this PRC, the potential reversal zone at the first completion point. However, important to know that this W formation giving the ratio at the B point between the legs X and A yields a ratio or a retracement at the 0.886, normally implying that this pattern, a W formation, will be a deep grab pattern that represent or also possess the complementary ratio at the 1.90, 121 over spill of this PRC correction. As of now, consolidation. However, the targets ideally will be the common areas of retracement from this segment of the move, okay? From the lows to the highs on the C leg, this will be the levels ideally where Bitcoin must hold as support. 0.382 already tested, the 0.50 and the 0.618. However, keep in mind that there are other levels of previous all-time high also looking left. Market leaf clues, correct? 112, 109. However, we wouldn't be surprised if the correction will be deeper to the previous upper trend line of this channel, the bull flag, to 107, 106. Okay, but we're looking also for another intersection between price and time expected for tomorrow, July the 22nd, as well as July the 28th, followed by our long-term projection on August the 3rd. This one come in confluence with the daily time frame for August the 5th. Okay, and of course, following the next one at the 1.618 for the golden ratio for August the 19th. Plenty of time for Bitcoin to print new variables in the price action. As of now, resistance has been there since the previous chart. Also, we were monitoring in the room a trend line, a very simple one based on the Pittsburgh, okay? The action-reaction rule. Remaining below this medium line remains or implies resistance. Once breaching above, we then have the inner medium line for these higher levels. However, we know that also this angle, which by the way, I was talking to a friend earlier today, coincidentally, we're looking this in our room previously 10 days or 2 weeks ago for the 1-1 angle, the 45-degree angle based on GAN. That implies resistance, okay? While remaining below, we know that these levels are a strong resistance levels. Also in confluence with the GAN box for the gravitational center at the 50% for the time axis. Okay, so therefore, clear resistance levels on the 3-day chart. We also mentioned that Bitcoin was still printing the the class A bearish divergence or negative divergence. Okay, that argument or that variable continues to be there. Okay, higher highs in the price action, slightly equal highs here, or class B potentially, for a divergence. Negative divergence implying resistance levels impending that a trend may change. Okay, nothing changed pretty much since 2 weeks ago. On BTC, on the S&P 500, we're still hovering key levels. Okay, there are levels of resistance definitely at the 63.50 despite the new all-time high today. This is also within the range, considering that there might be an argument for the 1.13 on the daily time frame. Okay, well, daily time frame, this pattern remains the same here. For if I bring the main chart here for the long-term projection on the S&P 500, once again, this chart was based on the monthly. The argument now here is, are we printing the type 2 return? That normally generates true turning point. So we are here, my friends. Whether this correction may be a mild correction comparing to a steeper one, such as a previous one observed on type 1 during the last the major correction that took place at the turning point of this long time projection. Okay, whether or not the new support levels that are being constructed on this correction that is coming, we will see if indeed true support levels may be found before another upward traction. Okay, and potentially will give the argument to the bulls. Now the bulls are presented here, which is always a tricky argument rather than presenting at the lows. October 2022 bottom, as observed here. That one clearly a true generational turning point. Turning bullish at these highs can be complex, my friends. Okay. However, there are other levels we're tracking, especially if our argument for this type 2 return would unfold or a pending cipher. We'll see. Moving briefly into the price action on Ethereum. Ethereum, we also reached the completion point of the 0.886 for a very bad pattern. Also, nothing changed on Ethereum. You guys remember we're looking at the 0.786 during the last stream, the previous 2 streams, as well as the 0.886, where the argument for the bull scenario only if this upper trend line, which one of the members told me that there are other crew within our room trying to sabotage our analysis. Okay, that's fine. We do know that that has been the case for a long time. Therefore, those who cannot come with their own argument are always in trouble. Okay, we like to present our arguments, present what we see, and act accordingly. Not trying to copy anyone or others who present arguments and have any confirmation bias. Nevertheless, here we are at the potential reversal zone for Ethereum. The overspill zone for this level will be at 39.81. However, remember also the upper trend line of this right angle and descending Brownian formation. Ideally, if prices break higher, we have the conservative measure move of the height only once breaking higher, okay, to the beginning of the angle, as well as the higher measure move. Okay, but again, we mentioned that this correction that apparently is within the cards or turning now soon will depend if Ethereum will certainly reach those levels. So far, what we can observe here, this is a chart based on the 3-day chart or 3-day time frame, where the PRC, once again, the potential reversal zone, has been tested. Now there are 2 days left, 2 days and 5 hours left for this terminal bar to complete, and therefore a follow through towards the downside will be ideal scenario. But again, we'll have to monitor the upper trend line, the 4,000 region. That has been the case for a long time, many times. Okay, you can observe here, if we anchor, of course, all the upper shadow, the wicks, this is the first one. the second one, the third one, and now potentially the fourth. However, there is a rule for the fourth one. As one of the members corrected me earlier last week, there is indeed, this will be the third, okay? If we anchor all the connecting touching points within the trend line, okay? You guys know that a trend line becomes a trend line when there is more than 3 touches, as Bukowski suggests in his book, okay? However, there are other interpretations when it comes to the fourth touch, right? You guys know that the higher the test, the likely to break, or we'll see what occurs next, okay? Only throwing some nuggets, as an old friend would say. Everyone, this is basically what I have. Only a brief update. I know this is a random stream on the afternoon, but again, we are finding resistance. Potentially a turning point is about to occur on BTC across the board, and therefore do not be surprised, okay? I'll see you guys on the next one, and remember to live a life with an attitude, gratitude. Cheers.
Just enough to keep the bitches tight. Make it fame. Papa nigga,